Howdy y'all and welcome back. Today I bring you a very valuable tip that I picked up at a carbine class that I took this past weekend. And this tip did not come from the instructor or from anyone else with years and years of shooting experience like myself. It came from a 20-year-old ROTC student, and it kind of melted my brain. Painfully simple, and should have maybe been self-evident, but I definitely had never thought of it. And when he spoke up and said it, I was like, so we were doing the safety briefing before the class, and the instructor was designating responders. So if in case of an accident, someone becomes injured, you will run to the front office and notify range personnel, and you call 911. And this young college student spoke up and said, if you have to call 911, please be sure and tell the 911 dispatcher, we have had a firearms training accident. I was like, so, as opposed to, there's been a shooting. Billy Joe shot Radon Bob. Do you see the difference? The information that you convey to the 911 dispatcher, they are going to convey to the police, and the police are going to stage themselves. They're going to arrive on scene in a certain state of mind that will be largely dictated by the information that was given to them by the dispatcher, which was given to the dispatcher by you, the caller. So if you can prep everyone involved with the information that this was an accident, that I know we refer to it as negligent discharge, but for the sake of what we're talking about here, you want to be very clear that this was an accidental shooting, a firearms training accident, as opposed to a shooting. A shooting, right? Does that make sense? And it was super cool. It really stood out because this kid was 20 years old. And I'm like, dude, that's so rad. So sometimes the, big takeaway you might leave a class with comes from not just a student, but a student that's less than half your own age. So it's good to not have your own head lodged so far up your own ass that you cannot take in information from outside sources, and it doesn't just have to be from the instructor. That doesn't mean listen to everything you hear other students say, because sometimes they're dumb as shit. But in this particular case, it was like, wow, dude, that is so cool. So that is the little tidbit that I wanted to pass along. I wanted it to have its own standalone video. There has been a firearms training accident. And I think where this really, really, really is important is if you are shooting at a public lands, out in the boonies somewhere, or private property. We were at a training facility. I think by the time the cops showed up, they'd figure out it was a range accident. But if you're at a private residence, piece of land somewhere, or out in public lands, it could really make a big difference in their state of mind as they arrive. So try to lock that one in somewhere back there and hold on to it, and hopefully you never have to use it. So that's all I got for today. Until next time, be easy, y'all.